All right, we are ready to begin our next presentation, so let's please give a warm welcome to the stage, CEO David Ben David of Rail Vision.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. So, just briefly, do you have an idea? Between 2 and 3 trains derail in the US every single day. 2 to 3 trains every day. Sometimes it's, small event, small incident in the shunting yard, a few wagons are off tracks, and it causes a blockage of the shunting yard sometimes. It's more serious. And then you get the cars getting hit and you lose some cargo, and the cargo is destroyed, but some are even worse and they take lives. Now behind these pretty high numbers of 950 casualties and 6,500 injuries per year, there is one recurring theme, which is the human factor, human limitations. Okay? Not system intelligence, just human limitations. And what we built is a system that can see and understand what humans can't. Okay? And it helps prevent what was until now considered inevitable. This is Rail Vision. Okay? So I'm David, I'm CEO of the company. I've been in tech innovation startups since 1999. I was actually the CTO of Rail Vision until late 19, and I recently was very excited to come back 6 months ago as CEO. So I'll tell you briefly about us, and then we'll just dive into the value propositions, show you some interesting videos, and make you more familiar with what we're offering to the market. So company was founded in 2016. We are almost 60 employees at this point. We have various patents in the field of vision in the rail industry. We're completely rail focused, okay? And we develop everything in-house. So we have a very diverse R&D team. We do software, hardware, communication, mechanical engineering, AI, other algorithms, quite interesting. So these are some of the numbers I just mentioned, and this is US in last year. And as I explained, the human factor is like the top factor in the cause of these accidents. And we're talking about, fatigue, poor eyesight, environmental conditions, loss of attention, and also the problem of that the railways are facing, which is recruiting new workers. Okay? What have been done typically to address the pain points of the industry is trying to adapt automotive technologies to these use cases. But unfortunately, this doesn't really work because ranges are quite different. And cars use short-range devices, they use LiDARs and so on. These are very hard to use in the railway use case. Okay, you need much longer ranges. LiDAR faces all kinds of challenges in the rail use case. Reflections from metals are very common. The ranges are very low. Plus, there are certification issues of LiDAR in this domain. So what do we offer to the marketplace? We have 2 product lines. As you can see, let me try and point here. Never mind. The one in the bottom, the large box of sensors, is aimed at the mainline trains. Okay, the ones that go fast, riding between towns or between cities, and this is where you need a longer range. And these systems can look at up to 2 kilometers and detect, classify objects, alert the driver. Okay. The other one, the one that is in red here, is the shunting yard system, which is, as the name suggests, is for the shunting yard use case. We install 2 of them, one in each end, and this is for the locomotives that go back and forth in the shunting yard and build those long consists of freight trains. 200 meters range, both sides, but both systems rely on similar technology in the sense that they have multiple sensors, they have visual light sensors, but also thermal imaging, okay, thermal sensors. In this example, I wanted to show, but it doesn't play, but that's fine. What I wanted to show you here is, I think, the heart of everything we do is the sensor. Okay, the company was also founded by a few guys that are very experienced in electro-optics. What you see here is an example of what you see, what the driver sees on the bottom right. In this example, darkness. Okay, but if he glances at the red vision screen that is installed in the cabin, you will see this. Basically turning night into day. So a lot of the drivers actually get addicted to looking at the screen because there is nothing to look for outside. They can't see anything anyway. So first of all, the sensors are really sensitive. They can pick up stuff that a human eye can't pick up. And on top of that, we're adding obviously the algorithmics. And in this example, mainline system is driver is looking at the screen. I'll speak later about this screen during a red area. Here, a detection of a person at over 1,100 meters. Obviously, there is no way for the driver to see this on time. The system alerts that it's up there. It gives a pop-up with the imagery of the obstacle, and the driver can respond. By the way, our systems are ADAS systems, right? They alert the driver, they give him the information, but in some cases, and this depends on the customer, they might be connected to the brakes. Meaning, if the driver did not respond on time to the alert, after a couple of seconds, the system will basically hit the brakes for him, okay? So, a next example is foggy day, fog conditions. In this case, detecting a car from 700 meters. Again, something that the driver has no way to do without the system. An important feature of our systems is the detection of switches. In shunting yards and also in other areas, there are multiple, many dozens, sometimes hundreds of switches that move trains between tracks. Being able to detect the switch is critical. The system looks at the tracks and understands that there is a switch, plus understand where it's pointing, and according to that, we basically paint the path for the driver. If you see large shunting yards, you can look it up online, you'll see a huge area of dozens of tracks and hundreds of switches. You want to know where the switches are currently pointing. This is very important information for the driver, information that they do not have today. Now, in addition to that, we identify the switches, but in addition to identifying the position of the switch, we can also identify cases in which the switch is there, but it's closed, meaning it's aligned against us, against the driver. So it is currently aligned for the other track to connect. And this is an extremely common problem of running over those switches. They're closed, they're aligned against you, you drive over them, you break them. First, the train, depending on the speed, the train might derail. And then you have a blockage and you have a significant downtime. You have to go back, lift the train, put it back on tracks. You have to fix the switch. And you have the direct damages that you're dealing with, but the indirect damages are sometimes even higher because the whole area is blocked and the train is not moving and no one else can go through that point. Extremely common. You wouldn't believe it's like in the hundreds for one of our customers per year. And this is the #1 feature they requested that we will provide. And we're the only company today in the world that does this and able to identify switches, their state, and alert. Okay? In addition to everything I've shown you, our systems are capable of constantly uploading everything to the cloud. So they're fully connected. And for every event that takes place, the system uploads all the information, like what type of event, what kind of obstacle, where it happened, and a bunch of other pieces of information, and most importantly, also the visuals. So when someone is looking at this and tries to understand the incident and try to find a solution later. They really want to see it with their eyes. They don't want the driver just to tell them what he thinks happened. And this happens automatically, and we allow our users to go in online to their portal and basically slice and dice this information any way they like and generate the reports. And there are different personas. This is a relatively new product. We added it about a year ago, and we're still polishing it and adding a lot of features, but it's really important. It allows different personas to get valuable information. For example, if you're in the command and control center, you want to see stuff in real time. You want to know, oh, this just happened. I know that it happened. I want to also look at the video. I want to do something about it. I want maybe to get a live feed from the train if I needed to. That's one. The other one would be whoever is responsible for operations. And they see all kinds of problems and they want to try and fix them. People are responsible for maintenance and infrastructure. For example, I want to go and see what issues do I have with people crossing the tracks in certain areas, and maybe I'll prioritize, I don't know, my fence installations accordingly. I have a budget to increase safety. I need to know how to deploy this budget. I want to base it on real data. Extremely important for our customers. They really like it. Most of them opt to purchase this additional subscription. And this, as you understand, is an important additional revenue stream for our company because it's recurring, and it comes on top of the initial sale of the systems or extended warranty and stuff like that. But here we can get extra dollars every month from every locomotive that is in the field and provide real value to our customers. So, as you can probably understand, the value proposition is around increasing safety, but it's maybe even more importantly, it's about the business continuity. It's about operational efficiency, and of course, safety is an important factor. Now, when we speak to customers, some of them will put safety as like the top reason they're talking to us, and we're getting a lot of inbound in the last couple of years from companies that are already familiar with the offering. Others may say, no, I have too many switches I'm breaking, either for myself or for my customers. If I'm a service provider of shunting operations, I can't have that. And there's also a PR aspect, right? I want to say I'm putting the best safety systems on my locomotives to reduce accidents, to protect my workers, and so on. It's a very tough environment to work in the rail industry, and too many people are getting hit, also workers. And some of these companies really want to get the best that they can find in order to protect the people, and also it helps them maybe to recruit some others that they're really struggling with. Not going to talk too much about this. I think it's quite obvious that the market is growing. Railways are critical for countries, and more stuff is getting moved. And actually, a lot of technologies are getting adopted in the railway industry. One of the investors we talked to today asked me about my take on the railway industry, because it's kind of a gray area. Right? It's kind of a gray sector, right? You don't hear a lot about it. You hear about it usually when there are accidents, and it makes the big headlines and so on. But these guys are extremely important for the country, and they are looking for real solutions to solve their pains, and they are willing to spend accordingly, and they are looking at innovative technologies, and many of them have innovation groups. And we are many times get approached by innovation teams, and we work with them in the initial stages, and these guys are looking for the best they can find out there, and they're really trying it out, and we have a few customers that already completed the purchase. I'll speak about them, give you as much information as I can, as I may, I'm allowed to provide. So first, Israeli Railways, I didn't mention this before, but to whoever, if you don't know, we're an Israeli company. We're based in Israel near Tel Aviv. But Israeli Railways is the first customer and is still an important customer for us. They purchased recently these 10 systems for the main line. We are installing system number 8 right now, so just about to complete the first batch. Then they go into a phase of a few months of getting driver's feedback and so on, and to decide on the configuration of the next batches. In the shunting yard, we have a very important customer here in the US. These guys are service providing of shunting operations for industrial plants. May it be, steel or chemical industries or grains and so on. I don't know if you noticed, but they have their own tracks and they have to constantly move stuff from one place to another. And it's huge. If you went online and looked at one of these sites on Google Map, you wouldn't believe how big the train operation is. And they take service companies like the one here. And so these guys were looking at our system, testing it, and then putting the first order in, and we're looking for serious expansion there in the next couple of years. We have a customer in Latin America who's in the mining business, and they already purchased a system, then another one, and we're looking to expand even further. Just a note on mining, very interesting use case for us, because the tracks on mining scenario are like conveyor belts, right? You have to constantly move, for example, iron ore from the mine to the port. Constantly, 24/7, 365 days a year. So every downtime that you have, every incident that makes you stop, immediately impacts the bottom line, because there is no way to recoup this time, right? You can't arrive faster or put more trains. You're already in full capacity. So they're trying to avoid incidents at all costs, and they're much less sensitive to price, just because the impact of every incident is huge. So this is one example. We have a few important pilots going on. So Loram is a grinding company. They basically grind the tracks and basically maintenance grinding operation. And they're evaluating our system right now. A huge class 1 US operator here is also trying it out. And we have another important pilot for the mainline system in Central America. Okay, a freight operation. India is very interesting. I just came back from a few days conference in New Delhi. I mean, the numbers are incredible, and the use cases are also, we're very familiar with them. So actually talking to the different pieces, different parts of the government that deal with the mainline trains, and also the shunting yard operations. And hopefully we have some news soon, but this takes time. We've been trying for a year and a half or so, but eventually we had a breakthrough last week where we met the right people, and they promised they're pushing it forward, and hopefully we'll get something new to report soon. So I think I covered all of that, and also all of that. Any questions? Yes, please.
I have a lot of questions. Are you integrated with positive train control in the US? How does that work?
Great question. PTC is being developed here, or was developed here for a few reasons. We're not integrating with them yet, but our system is ready for all kinds of integrations. I mentioned the brakes before, but we can integrate with these systems to also get information about what's the states of switches, for example, or other signaling equipment on the way, and we can also provide information to the system. But we started talking to these guys. It's quite early in talks, but technically we're ready for this integration. But there is another interesting aspect, which is how do we think about the future, our vision of the train operation and us as a company, there is this, ATO, autonomous train operation vision that is relevant for maybe 8 to 10 years from now. And there are a few committees, for example, TCCO, that is dealing with that, and we're part of it, by the way. But in this vision, signaling will take care of everything, right? You can run trains, you don't need drivers. The signaling systems, PTC and others will take care of everything. Trains will not collide. That's the goal, right? And they'll leave on time and so on and so forth. But what happens with everything that is unexpected? These systems are completely blind. What about situational awareness? They need to know, or someone needs to deal with all the unexpected stuff, like cars stuck on tracks, people, a tree that fell down, a landslide, or some kind of equipment that was broken and left on tracks. So to make this system work, or this scenario, to realize that vision, there is another piece that must be filled, which is the situational awareness. We're speaking to all the big companies that are involved with ATO, and the way they look at us is like as a strategic partner to complete this necessary or mandatory part of the vision. So in terms of the company, if we're looking 10 years from now, we want to be a significant part of ATO. In the meantime, we'll provide systems that can help prevent accidents, save lives, and increase operational efficiency for our customers. Yeah.
What are your sales?
Excuse me?
Your sales? What
Yeah.
are your sales?
So we finished last year with 1.3 million.
And this year to date?
First half of the year, 300K. That's where we're now focused on a few areas, and the bad thing in this industry for us is that it just takes time. Long sales cycles, a lot of you have to jump a lot of loops, but eventually, if you're the best, and currently we are the best, and we have customers comparing both systems to the competition, then once you're in, it's very hard to take you out, and then you get the big deals.
It sounds to me like you're talking to the locomotive and train owners, manufacturers. Why wouldn't you talk to the city of New York? Or would you? Or do you?
Usually,
they have a huge rail system underneath, there's always a problem.
so we're not focusing. Our offering does not cover LRVs, light rail vehicles. We don't deal with metro and so on. We did speak to them in the past. It's a challenging place. It's quite saturated. There are many companies trying to do this. If you look at the systems, they are much smaller, much less expensive. Price point is extremely important. We are more at a high-end part of it, and it's better for us as a company. So we left LRV behind for now. And we let the Bosches and the Siemens and the other ones to take it. It's fine.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much. If you have any additional questions, they can be addressed.
Thank you very much, guys.